Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. Just a disclaimer before we start this video. This is always something which I wanted to do for James Games, and now we're finally getting around to it. And it just so happens that we're getting a new Crash Bandicoot game entitled Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. But for all of you purists out there, then you'll all know that the true Crash Bandicoot 4, the original Crash Bandicoot 4, was this game right here. So, stay tuned, find out what my opinion is of Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. Okay, so the story of the game goes like this. The evil mask Uka Uka is unhappy and orders Dr. Cortex to eliminate Crash Bandicoot. Okay, I think it's something to do with the end of Crash Bandicoot Warped. There's no real continuation of the story from that game, while the first three games from the PS1 era felt more connected. As stories go, it's very basic. A genetically modified Bandicoot called Crunch is created by Dr. Cortex to kill Crash, and elemental masks have been unleashed to wreak havoc upon the world. Sounds like more of a job for young Link if you ask me. Suffice to say, this game is no Majora's Mask. Now in terms of gameplay, it's your standard Crash Bandicoot from PS1, but now on PS2 with extra long loading times. Wow! I wonder what this game's going to be like. Well, the first level of the first world is none other than a snow level. Not Insanity Beach or any jungle theme level. A snow level. Where's that cute polar bear from the previous games anyway? As far as first levels go, this isn't half bad. There's plenty of secrets in there for Crash to find, like your gems and bonus levels. You have to hit all the boxes. It's just standard stuff. In hindsight, I just find it odd that Traveller's Tales chose a snow level for the first level in this. But I guess it does the job. Just a bit weird for a first level. Level 2 sees Crash take to the skies in a fighter plane. What? Already? We got a bit of this in Crash Bandicoot Warped, but now give us something more traditional. Level 3. Crash walks around inside a ball, and just for a second I forgot that I'm playing Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, and I thought I was playing one of the Super Monkey Ball games. Let me tell you, these levels I always hated. I always kept getting killed. What really annoyed me was that the ball just got completely destroyed if I touched an enemy or one of those TNT boxes. I commend the designers for trying to come up with something original for this, but I just don't think that this quite hit the mark. These types of levels always felt like a chore to get through. I need to enjoy the level so I don't get put off by the rest of the game. Level 4 is called Wizards and Lizards. As far as this level goes, this is the best one so far. It's a classic styled Crash level with all of the boxes and puzzles, and there's even a chase with Crash running towards the camera away from a giant lizard. So yeah, I'd say that this is good. Level 5, which is the final level of World 1, is also pretty good. Those goons from Cortex's lab are back, and they're throwing their potions at you, or... oh, hang on. Actually, they're just throwing them aimlessly at the floor. What a waste of money. There's a small minecart section near the beginning of this level, which makes me think that this is Donkey Kong Country, and there's little side-scrolling sections as well as the forward walking parts. I like this level, and it was especially fun trying to do this for all the relics. by doing all those time trials and the gems. Oh yeah, as far as the time trials go, I'd say that this game did okay with it, and that brings us to the first boss of the game now. As far as bosses go, they're all the same guy, Crunch. Each time you fight him, he's aided by one of the elementals. In the first form, he becomes a rock, and you're inside a ball again. If you listen to my opinion on level 3, then you can guess that I wasn't too keen on this boss. While it's cool that you do get to fight Crunch throughout the game, I do miss fighting all of the other baddies like Entropy, Dingodile or Ripperoo, just to name a few. So in that respect, the first 3 games did better with the bosses. After you defeated Crunch for the first time, you end up going to World 2, and then it's sort of reuse and recycle until you get to the final world where you have to beat Cortex. And along the way, you get to play as Coco again, which is nice. It sucks that she can't spin like Crash though. Like, what the hell? There's also some side-scrolling water levels, which are a bitch for people playing this for the first time. Let me tell you, 8-year-old me threw his GameCube controller when he kept getting game overs for this. In hindsight, I realised that Traveller's Tales was sort of replicating what Crash Bandicoot Warp did. On the whole though, every time I play this game, I do think of it fondly because I played it quite a bit during my childhood. I will say it's not perfect, and I'd say that it is more of a vanilla experience for a Crash Bandicoot title. The series staples are there, but I think that this misses the charm because it does a lot of the same things as the others did, but the older ones did it better. The new stuff in this, like the ball thing you roll around, yeah, that sucks and blows. I quite like that later in the game you can take control of a mech suit. I mean, for God's sakes, it's on the front cover of the game, it's like the selling point. Why didn't we see this earlier in the game, like in the first world? Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex is a nostalgic one for me, but now I can see clearly that this is a sort of poor man's version of Crash Bandicoot Warped, and I guess Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 as well. From the point of this game's release, the series started to go on a downward spiral. From what made it great in its Naughty Dog days on PS1, it took over 2 console generations to finally get it right again with the N-Sane Trilogy. With the release of Crash Bandicoot 4 just days away now, it makes me sad to think that the Wrath of Cortex will no longer be classed as Crash Bandicoot 4. For those of us who grew up with it though, it did do something right, just not groundbreaking like the original trilogy. At the end of the day though, if you put a gun against my head and you ask me the question, which one out of these 2 would you play again? Definitely this one. Spyro Enter the Dragonfly fucking sucks.